p.m. edition on this Friday, March 7, 2025, of 45 minutes of news presentation of happenings in Liberia and other parts of the world. Today is Friday, and my name is Aloysius Chia presented. Coming up in the headlines. Energy sector assures investment-funded environment that supports sustainable energy financing. As today marks International Women's Day, several Liberian women highlight gender-based violence as critical issue that undermines dignity and safety of Liberian women. Police in Maryland County arrest 20-year-old Ruth Kear for allegedly squeezing her boyfriend's testicle, which resulted to severe injuries. Away from Liberia, several people died in South Sudan after an attempt to take a break. To be right back. Lee Monju listeners to bring us the news bulletin from the news center. Good evening, Lee.
Good evening, Aloysius. Good evening, Liberians. Vice President Jeremiah Cohn has called for immediate and long-term solutions to Liberia's energy crisis, emphasizing that economic growth and poverty reduction depend on reliable and affordable electricity. Speaking at the 10th Powering Africa Summit in Washington, D.C., Vice President Jeremiah Cohn said without addressing energy challenges, industrialization and development in Liberia and across Africa will remain difficult. Representing President Joseph Boakai at the summit, Vice President Jeremiah Kun highlighted the REST agenda, which prioritizes energy as the key driver of progress. He noted that energy is the foundation of economic growth, social progress, and technological advancement. According to him, without affordable and reliable electricity, industrialization is impossible, and the government's effort to uplift millions of people from poverty will remain difficult. Vice President Jeremiah Cohn also acknowledged the Power Africa initiative, which has supported rural electrification and technical capacity building in Liberia. He also pointed out to the West Africa Power Pool and the Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea interconnector project, which have improved energy trade and expanded assets with 2.8 million people. He further stated that despite these gains, Liberia still faces major electricity shortages, unreliable power supply, and high costs, among others. Vice President Jeremiah Cohn urged U.S. businesses and investors to explore opportunities in Liberia's energy sector, particularly in off-grid electrification, transmission infrastructure, and green energy innovation. He assured investors that Liberia is committed to a transparent and investment-friendly environment that supports sustainable energy financing. As the world celebrates International Women's Day, thousands of Liberian women have joined the parade in celebrating women across the country. With the celebration taking place in different parts of the country under the global theme Accelerate Action, now several Liberian women have voiced out on the role of women in Liberia. Speaking to journalists during the parade, the General Connect person at the Ministry of Information, Madam Gata Va, said the ministry's functioning mandate is to propagate our government policies and procedures. According to her, they remain engaged with communities and counties on educating women on their role in society. Madam Va at the same time assured the Ministry of Information full support in educating women across the country despite numerous challenges. For her part, the head of Women Resources at the National Oil Component of Liberia, Madam Lovett Kanu, highlighted the importance for women to be celebrated in Liberia. According to her, over the years, women in Liberia have played a significant role in all sectors despite numerous challenges across the country. Police in Maryland County have arrested 20-year-old Ruth Kear for allegedly assaulting her boyfriend in Harper City. Authorities reported that Kear is being investigated after an incident in which Ruth allegedly squeezed his testicle during a dispute. The nature of the altercation remains unclear, but law enforcement has confirmed that Kear was taken into custody and currently under police investigation. The case has raised eyebrows in the community as police continue to gather information surrounding the incident. As it stands, there is no further details being released, but authorities are urging everyone with additional information to come forward. The Liberian Senate has mandated Finance Minister Augustine Gafuan to submit the fiscal outturn report for 2024. According to a press release issued by the Senate, the decision is aimed at establishing whether or not the $6 million United States dollars appropriated in the 2024 national budget for Car Power was disbursed to the institution. The Liberian Senate plenary's decision followed the appearance of Minister Gafuan before the August body to provide clarity on the appropriated amount in the 2024 national budget for Kear Power. Minister Augustine Gafuan informed the plenary that the government did not spend any money on Kear Power as the facility was in the report. Meanwhile, the finance minister has further informed the plenary of the Liberian Senate that the General Auditing Commission is conducting an audit on funds appropriated to Car Power. He vowed that the report will be subsequently submitted to the legislature through its Joint Public Accounts Committee. Liberia National Police have charged and forwarded to court Officer Boema Masile in connection to a shooting incident that led to the death of a Liberian in Banja District 17. Officer Masile was charged for negligence of homicide and recklessly endangering the life of a young Liberian. According to the LMP, Officer Masali's action runs contrary to the duties and functions of the police and violates the police code conduct. Making the disclosure at MICAT's regular press briefing, Deputy Information Minister for Press and Public Affairs, Daniel Sanu said the police action, the LMP action, is as a result of investigation conducted by the investigative arm of the police. At the same time, Sano disclosed that the government of the Republic of Liberia, with support from the United Nations Development Programme, has scheduled a donor roundtable conference for late March 2025 to mobilize resources and ensure continued support for Liberia development. Addressing the recent U.S. aid freeze, Sano acknowledged the potential impact on development programs, but assured that the government is engaging international partners to mitigate the effects. The Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications and the Liberia Telecommunications Authority has kickstarted a nationwide tower assessment beginning in Buchanan Grant, Basso County. As part of efforts to improve Liberia's telecommunications landscape, the two entities officially announced the launch of the nationwide tower assessment tour headed by Minister Sekou Kumar. The tour began in Grand Basso County with an aim to transform the future of telecommunication across the nation, with the primary purpose of thoroughly evaluating the state of telecommunications infrastructure throughout Liberia. In the release issued in Monrovia by authorities of the Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications and the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, Minister Sekou Kuma emphasized the importance of the initiative, emphasizing their commitment to improve the country's communication sector. He noted that they will strive to ensure that every Liberian has access to reliable and efficient telecommunication services. Also speaking, Commissioner Patrick Honda emphasized the tour focus on consumer empowerment, stating that their goal is to ensure that the voices of the public is heard by thoroughly assessing the current infrastructure. The Women and Children section of the Liberia National Police in Zweju Grant, Chida County, has forwarded a 59-year-old man to the Zwedru City Magisterial Court for allegedly abusing a 7-year-old minor, as contained in the charge sheet in the possession of the Women and Children Chief Investigator Sakor Gibson. The incident occurred in early January 2025 in a town called Flage in Konobo District, but was reported to the Liberia National Police on January 29, 2025. The police charge sheet disclosed that the both alleged perpetrator Tele Nayu and the mother of the survivor Victoria Welly, aged 45, live in the same house with the rooms opposite each other. The police charge sheet narrated that the alleged perpetrator, who is the grandfather to the survivor, committed the act on a Sunday at 3 p.m. when the mother of the survivor was in the kitchen. The police account explained that the perpetrator instructed the 7-year-old survivor to take water in his room where he allegedly subjected her to sexual abuse. The alleged action of the perpetrator to forcefully penetrate the survivor made her to alarm, thereby drawing the attention of her mother, who immediately went to the room to check what was going on. Upon entering the room, the police charge sheet quoted the mother of the survivor as revealing that her daughter narrated how she was allegedly abused by the perpetrator. The case was later reported to the Office of the Women and Children Section of the Liberia National Police, where preliminary investigations established that the child was abused. However, the perpetrator denied admitting to the act, but based on the testimonies of the mother, the survivor couple, with medical reports from the one-stop center at the Mato Totman Memorial Hospital, Ted Nayo was charged for rape and sent to the Zwedru Magisterial Court for trial. Meanwhile, following additional probe by the prosecution, the perpetrator admitted committing the act on grounds that he could be pardoned. Following the investigation, he has been forwarded to the Zwedru Correction Palace pending trial. And in foreign news, several people have died in South Sudan after an attempt by the UN to evacuate members of the National Army on a fire, the UN has said. One crew member died when a UN headquarters was shot at a statement from from a mansion in South Sudan. Omis said it added that an injured South Sudan general and several other troops were also killed during the evacuation attempt in Upper Nile State. South Sudan president later said a second helicopter managed to take off after the attack, only to crash land, kill him, or on board. Or Miss has denied this. That's the foreign development.
Lee Manju and the News Bulletin, one of the regular features. In one of our top stories, police in Meriden County arrest 20-year-old Ruth Tier for allegedly squeezing her boyfriend's testicle, which resulted to severe injuries. Let's now bring you the voices of those making the news. Vice President Jeremiah Cohen has called for immediate and long-term solutions to Liberia's energy crisis, emphasizing that economic growth and poverty reduction depend on reliable and affordable electricity. Speaking at the 10th Powering Africa Summit in Washington, D.C., VP Cohen said without addressing energy challenges, industrialization and development in Liberia and across Africa will remain difficult. Representing President Joseph Walker at the summit, VP Cohen highlighted the arrest agenda, which prioritizes energy as a key driver of progress. Vibicon urged U.S. businesses and investors to explore opportunities in Liberia's energy sector, particularly in upgrade electrification, transmission infrastructure, and green energy innovation. He assured investors that Liberia is committed to a transparent and investment-friendly environment that supports sustainable energy financing. Liberia's Vice President Jeremiah Kong speaking at the 10th Powering Africa Summit in Washington, D.C., USA. As the world celebrates International Women's Day, thousands of Liberian women have joined the parade in celebrating women across the country. With the celebration taking place in different parts of Liberia under the global theme, Accelerate Action Now, several women have voiced out on the role of women in Liberia. Speaking to journalists during the parade, the gender contact person at the Ministry of Information, Madam Agatha Van, said the ministry functioning mandate is to propagate all government policies and procedures. General contact person at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism, Agatha Val, speaking to reporters during the parade. For her part, the head of the Human Resource says the National Oil Company of Liberia, Madame Lovette Kano, highlighted the importance for women to be celebrated in Liberia. According to her, over the years, women in Liberia have played a significant role in our sector despite numerous challenges across the country. The head of human resource at the National Oil Company of Liberia, Lovette Cannon, speaking to reporters at the celebration of the International Women's Day held at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Congo Town. Liberia National Police have charged and forwarded to court Officer Wema Masale in connection to a shooting accident that led to the death of a Liberian in Banjo District 17. Officer Masale was charged for negligence of homicide and recklessly endangering the life of a young Liberian, making the disclosure that MICAT Deputy Information Minister for Press and Public Affairs Daniel Sano said the LMP's action is as a result of the investigation conducted by the investigative arm of the Liberia National Police. Addressing a recent U.S. aid freeze, Sanders acknowledged the potential impact on development programs, but assured that the government of Liberia is engaging international partners to mitigate the effects. Deputy Information Minister for Press and Public Affairs Daniel Sano addressing the MINCAD regular press briefing Thursday. You're listening to Kear News Line at 6 p.m. edition on this Friday, March 7, 2025. My name is Aloysius here presenting these are our top stories. Vice President Jeremiah Cohen rallies world leaders' support for investment in Liberia's energy sector and shows investment-friendly environment that supports sustainable energy financing. As today marks International Women's Day, several Liberian women highlight gender-based violence as critical issue that undermines dignity and safety of Liberian women. Police in Meriden County arrest 20-year-old Ruth Tia for allegedly squeezing her boyfriend's testicle, which resulted in severe injuries. And away from Liberia, several people have died in South Sudan after an attempt by the UN to evacuate members of the National Army came under fire, the UN has said. We take a break to be back with sports and more developments. Keep tuned. Thanks for rejoining us. Let's join Fatimata Bawi for sports. Good evening, Fatimata.
Good evening, Alashes. Good evening, Liberia. Having 11 goes second in the table temporarily after a massive 4-1 win against Black Men Warrior earlier today. LFA First Division League returned today into scintillating fixtures at the SKD practice pitch and at the Tusa field in Ghana Zoo. At the SKD practice pitch, Heaven 11 defeated Black Men Warrior 4-1. Uh, Yaya Belete, Tuni Zotia, Nick Jr., and William Gibson sealed the win for the Messengers. Leicester Football Club wins for the first time this year. The club had a comfortable 6-1 win against relegation threatened Shatta FC. Leicester is now ninth place in the table with 25 points in 20 matches. The Liberia Football Association First Executive Committee meeting of the year 2025 is currently underway at the Football House in Swakamo, Congo Town. The meeting is chaired by the association president Mustafa Raji. These meetings brings together executive committee members to make in-house decisions on the growth and development of football. Liberian international referees Sylvina Garnett and Hannah Moses have been selected by the Confederation of African Football uh, to officiate in the FIFA Under 17 Women's World Cup qualifier between Benin and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Sylvina Garnett will serve as the fourth official, while Hannah Moses has been appointed as assistant referee. They will be joined by Cape Verdean referees Ana Lopez, who will be the center referee, and Marisa Montero, who will serve as assistant referee too. The match is set to take place at the Stade de Curie in Lomé, Togo. This marks the duo's second international assignment in 2025, having previously officiated the match between Rwanda and Egypt in the 2026 Women's AFCON qualifiers, a game officiated entirely by a team of four Liberian female referees. Former national team coach Ansumana Keita clears the air on son Samsi Keita possibly playing for Liberia in the near future. Coach Keita's son Samsi is already 6'2" tall at just age 15 and is actively playing international youth football. He currently plays for MLS side CF Montreal on the 16 and under 18 academy teams. Height is a major factor in goalkeeping as goalkeepers are meant to stand between the sticks of a 24 feet and 8 feet post. When asked whether his son will represent Liberia, Coach Keita averred that he is Liberian, hence he wishes for his son to play for his country. But when the time comes, Samsi will have to decide if he wants to play for Liberia or not. He added that Samsi is a very smart kid and is proud of how good he is at his work. But when he is of age, he will be eligible to play for four countries. That's Canada, Guinea, Ivory Coast, and Liberia. He concluded by saying, quote, I pray he chooses my country as it will make me a proud father, but it will be his decision. Asmana Keita is known for giving Liberia the best under 17 squad, a group that majority are now starting their careers across the leagues in Europe. Elsewhere, away from Liberia, FIFA are considering increasing the number of teams that will participate in the 2030 World Cup. The tournament, which will be held across three continents, will mark 100 years since the first World Cup. At a meeting on Wednesday, Uruguay's FIFA Council member Ignacio Alonso proposed that more countries should be allowed to compete to mark the occasion. He put forward that 64 teams should enter the World Cup, and it is understood that FIFA President Gianni Infantino described the idea as interesting. A FIFA spokesperson said a proposal to analyze the 64-team FIFA World Cup to celebrate the centenary of the FIFA World Cup in 2030 was spontaneously raised by the FIFA Council member in the miscellaneous agenda item near the end of the FIFA Council meeting held on 5th March 2025. In the English Premier League, in the English FA, Millwall goalkeeper Liam Rabbit has been waiting to hear whether or not he will receive a longer ban for his challenge on Jean-Philippe Matita following an FA challenge. Millwall goalkeeper Liam Rabbit has been handed a six-match ban for his challenge on Jean-Philippe Matita last weekend. A 30-year-old was shown a red card around the 6 minutes of Millwall's FA Cup tie with Crystal Palace by Michael Oliver after catching Matita with a high boot. The striker has subsequently taken to hospital and required 25 stitches to a laceration on his left ear. It emerged on Wednesday morning that the FA were pushing for harsher sanctions to be placed upon Rabbits, arguing that the standard three-match ban for serious foul play was clearly insufficient. Aloysius Che, that's the news from the Swiss desk.
Sports, yeah, on Kear Newsline, it is regularly featured on the program. In more developments, Bombing County Senator Edwin Snow has termed as unfortunate the prolonged impasse at the House of Representatives. According to Senator Snow, it is unfortunate that the current impasse at the lower house has created a bad scene for the government of Liberia beyond the borders of the country. He added that the ECOWAS Parliament is expected to send an official communication citing the rules that forbid them from accepting lawmakers recently elected by the majority bloc of the House of Representatives. The head of the Liberian delegation made these assertions via telephone on the OK Money Watch in Monrovia Thursday. Bombay County Senator Edwin Snow speaking via telephone on the OK Money Watch Thursday. Sino County Senator Creighton Dungan has written a communication to plenary requesting the appearance of the head of the National Disaster Management Agency, Ansel Doddy, for allegedly submitting fake report on budget spending in 2024. According to Senator Duncan, the agency in its performance report mentioned four separate projects as manifestation under the 2024 budget, but verification by his committee proves that all these projects were carried out during the WIA's administration. Yes, a highlight of Senator Duncan communication to plenary. Sino County Senator Creighton Duncan. The plenary of the Liberian Senate has summoned authorities of the Liberia Land Authority, Ministries of Youth and Sports, Justice, State for Presidential Affairs, and Mines and Energy to provide details on a contract agreement signed between national government and a Chinese company and other businesses operating within the confines of the Samuel Corridor Sports Complex in Painesville. The body took the decision Thursday following a concern raised on the floor by Montserrado County Senator Sir Joseph, who claimed that the Liberian Lone Star team is usually denied access to camp at the local hotel constructed around the stadium. Here is the lawmaker speaking further on the matter. Montserrado County Senator Sir Joseph. The Liberian Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church has reportedly come victorious in its legal battle for most of its edifice with the Global Methodist Church in several parts of the country. The vice president of the main organization of the Farmington River District Conference of the United Methodist Church, Jefferson Knight, said UMC has won the legal battle over the St. Matthew UMC in the township of Caldwell, the 72nd UMC in the Weirda District UMC and properties. This Vice President of the main organization of the Farmington River District Conference of the United Methodist Church. Well, on that note, we go home on this weekend's edition of Kear News Line on this Friday, March 7, 2025. Before we go to a quick recap of the major stories. Vice President Jeremiah Cohen rallies world leaders' support for investment in Liberia's energy sector that shows investment friendly environment that supports sustainable energy financing. As today marks International Women's Day, several Liberian women highlight gender based violence as critical issue that undermines dignity and safety of Liberian women. Police in Meriden County arrest 20-year-old Ruth Tia for allegedly squeezing her boyfriend's testicle, which resulted to severe injuries. In foreign news, several people have died in South Sudan after an attempt by the UN to evacuate members of the National Army came under fire. The details of these plus other developments will brought you on this Friday, March 7 edition of the program, Kia News Line. Many thanks to all of you for playing your usual listening role. Many thanks to all of our writers and contributors for their role in this presentation. The Monjura for us the news bulletin and the foreign development from the news center. Fatimata Babi was here with sports. Rufus Brooks produced the sound. George Zeze handled the visual aspect of this presentation. On behalf of the news team, my name is Aloysius Chia. I presented. Good night. Oh, take a dance,